I do believe we're recording now. Okay, so here we are. We're at the 18th card. We're at the moon card. Okay, so this is our 19th one. Remember, we started at 0. Okay, so what's the moon card? Alright, this is the hardest card to put your finger on because it's the most illusory card in the whole deck. It's basically like the moon, reflects everything else around it. Now, in the story of the Fool, right? So it's all the Fool story, right? He's already become the hermit. He's seen the divine. He's seen the demonic. He's destroyed his foolish tower. He's gotten a vision of the future with the star card. And then now he's here. He finds himself swept away by the emotions, right? But he's now floating down a river, in the middle of the night. And he's like searching for the sun. And the only thing in the sky is the moon. The moon reflects the sun, so it appears like the sun, right? So they begin to follow the sun. Now, I'm going to refer to the stage left. Okay, so I'm going to refer to the far left card, the Thoth deck. This is the prime deck, right? This is the best art ever, right? So this one we got a scarab, right? So you got the depiction of a lower life form crossing through the pylons of night, right? So this has to do with the solar mystery and how it went through the underworld at night for the Egyptians. On either side is flanked the jackals, right? The jackal-headed Anubi, right? So they sit there and they taunt you with everlasting life. And they're trying to pull you off the path. And the moment you step off the path, you rip to shreds. Okay. Again, the scarab's a solar symbol because it follows the path of the sun. It carries the sun, at least in this deck. There's mountains. And again, it's got to get the sun through the pillars of the night. So whenever this card shows up, right? So this card is about keeping focus on your goal, because if you're not keeping focus on your goal, what'll happen is you'll be led astray to do something else that you're not actually trying to do, but you're like, oh, now I'm trying to do this, even though you had no intentions of doing that in the first place. So this card is it's illusory, and it's about the things that are around it reflected back, but in a distorted nature. It's a good example of this card in pop culture. And I know no one likes this movie because it's a terrible movie. It's an absolutely horrible movie, right? But it gets this point across. Okay, what's the movie? Jupiter Ascends. And it's I know, it's ugh, right? Anyway, so Jupiter Ascends. There's a scene where she's, Meg Griffin, or Jackie from that '70s show, where she's talking to one of the people who's supposedly her child from her previous life, right? And he's all like, "Oh, well, let's marry," And the one thing about this scene is that there's 2 dogs flanking, there's a pool, there's this fucking light in the back, and it's all moonlit, and it's a good scene because it shows the energies of the moon card, or at least the symbolisms representing the energies of the moon card. Okay, so what is the moon card? The moon card is about going with the current, right? But keeping your eye on the goal. You can't fight the current, right? You're caught. its depiction is of a lower life form caught in a current, right? And it's following the path of the moon, or the trail of the moon left on the water. So this trail of the moon is in some way a path to the sun, but it's not really where the sun's at. Okay, so it's more of, it reflects what you're after, even though it's not that. It's not that thing, but you got to keep your focus on what you're actually after. Yeah. So this is where the hermit, or the fool hermit, the firmament. This is where the firmament, right, of the firmament. I think I just stumbled on an occult mystery. Oh fuck. Anyways, so this card is where the hermit learns to let go and to flow. Right? This is sort of a surrendering card. Even though it has to do with keeping your eye on the prize, right? You can keep your eye focused on your goal and still enjoy the current, enjoy the flow. Right? You just have to be tactful enough to, like, okay, I'm going to get this done right here, right now. I'm going to get that done right there, right now. And that's sort of this card. It's really about the lower nature trying to excel and extend itself. So what it is, it's like the crab or the lobster or the beetle, whatever lower life form in the thing, right? Because it's supposed to be you. You're supposed to be the lower life form, right? And it's supposed to be like, oh, well, you're such a low life form. You're like a crustacean in the universal scale of things, right? So you're supposed to look upon the moon and try to reflect, or try to emulate the reflecting nature of the moon so that you can reflect the light of the sun, right? All right. So that's a good explanation of this card. So its companion card, besides the sun, obviously, is the priestess, because the priestess, her Hebrew is Gamel, which has an astrological association to the moon. This one, the moon card, it has the association of Hebrew is Chaf. So that's the back of the head right here, right? That's yeah. So Chaf means the back of the head, because it kind of looks like the back of the head if you really look at it. If you're like, oh, okay, so that's the neck, and then that's the head coming out, right? And so what it's supposed to represent is the dark side of the moon. Yeah, and so while the priestess, she represents the lighter side of the moon, intuition, and what else would be clairvoyance in this? This represents the darker side of the moon, illusion, fear, terror, all those good emotional things, right? Yeah, so that's the moon card. If you like what I am giving out for free, give me a like, subscribe. That'll help. That'll help a lot. If you leave comments, that might help. We're trying to figure out how this gamified system of playing with computer intelligences works for the algorithm. So give me a like, give me a share, subscribe, comment. If you have anything to add, please do. Again, this is about explaining tarot, so it's very understandable to people. I know it might be like woo-woo at times, but it is woo-woo. It's very woo-woo, right? Even though when you actually understand all this woo-woo stuff, it makes regular society a lot easier to understand. Like, you understand why comedians are so important for society, and you understand why, or at least you can understand how people become successful in a free society, because it's only through a free society that one can actually utilize anything, like any of your human faculties. But yeah. So give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe, help me out, do something. Come on, help me